Thank you, His Excellency, Dr. Riyaz Hamidullah, respected our Honorable Minister, our proud freedom fighter, Dr. Abdul Shahid MP, our Honorable Secretary, faculties from Saskatchewan universities, faculties from our university, guests from World Bank, okay, FO and other colleagues. So thank you. So I like to thank Kallan Chakraborty and Steve Webb because they highlighted the challenges and issues of Bangladesh agriculture. So I'll be very brief. So actually, a lot of opportunity we have in our Bangladesh agriculture. That's why we are here today. And I hope this discussion will significant for fostering how can I say, for fostering cooperation, sharing experience, and identifying the opportunities where the Bangladesh, Netherlands, and Canada can work together. So my today's topic is how to rapidly bridge key need gaps through training, skill development, and capacity building in Bangladesh agriculture. Actually, I am the executive chairman of Bangladesh Agriculture Research Council, which is a apex body of National Agriculture Research System. So there are 13 research institutes are working under umbrella of BRC, and one of the major tasks of BRC just to develop individual and institutional capacity of the national agriculture system. That is a major task of BRC to build an efficient, effective, and sustainable NAR system. The Bangladesh is going to develop a developed country by 2041, and the slogan of Vision 2041 just inclusive digital transformation to develop and build a prosperous Bangladesh. And there are 4 institutional pillars. One is governance, democratization, decentralization, and capacity building. So it is very important for us to address the key issues and challenges that right now prevailing in the sector. We need to build up our capacity. So these are the 5 broad areas. Really, we need to increase our efficiency. One is moderning R&D for genetic development. Basically, all of you know Bangladesh, 7th most populous country and also 7th most vulnerable country with respect to climate change. And it is indeed a great challenge for the policymaker, for the scientists to arrange feed such scanty growth of population. That's why government is giving more emphasis to make a major change in varietal development program because we have to increase our productivity. So this is the major task right now, how we can develop some high yielding or climate resilient or nutrient dense variety to address our challenges. Second is embracing new approaches for crop and environment management. Already we saw some presentation. So there is a lot of scope is there by which we can improve our environment. We can really manage our crop through efficient or talent use of resources. Third is preparing the agriculture for smart agriculture. Bangladesh is going to be a smart Bangladesh. One of the component is good. One of the component smart citizen, and we need to look the smart agriculture. So smart agriculture right now, lot of transformation I saw as compared to the conventional one. To use real-time data, we can ensure the maximum or maximum efficiency. We can have the maximum efficiency of a fertilizer or water or pesticide. and through some real-time data or applying IoT-based or artificial intelligence, a lot of scope is there. So we need to build up the capacity of our scientists to address the smart agriculture to make our agriculture more profitable and sustainable. And also in our country, there is a Department of Agriculture, DAE. They are the last mile workers. Those are involved to disseminate technology. So we need to build up the capacity of our extension workers. Those are directly linked with our farmers. And a lot of crop casting issues are there. So we need to address these issues. So I highlighted some of the areas where we need to increase our efficiency in case of genetic gain, in case of smart agriculture, in case of how we can rejuvenate the DE personnel. So a lot of issues are there. Just I highlighted some of the issues. So why we need increased efficiency? Already I mentioned one of the major priority right now we are giving how we can develop some variety within a shorter time, following speed breeding, and how we can develop some truly some trade-based variety. Because you know Bangladesh is a very vulnerable to climate change, so a lot of hot spot is there. Like some our northern belt is very vulnerable to climate change. Then we have some Howard area, some bowl-shaped ecosystem. We have some chore area, the newly developed alluvial soil. So these are the area where we need some area-based fertilizer. So lot of each ecosystem, they have their own inherent problem. We need to transfer all this problem towards breeding so that we can develop some area-based variety to bring some fallow land under cultivation. So this is one of the major area. Another issue is minimizing post-harvest and food loss. This is one of the prime area for right now for Bangladesh agriculture, because right now we need almost 92 million tons of some tons of 90 million tons of food, but right now we are producing only 79 million tons of food. So there is a huge gap of 30 million tons of food to make our country food security. So right now, recently you saw the United Nations Environment Program. They made a report that Bangladesh is the highest country across the globe where food loss is maximum, food loss and waste, 84 kg per person per year. But I am not fully agree with the report, but there is some saying actually Bangladesh 64 kg per person per year is food lost and waste. So how we can minimize the food lost and waste? That is the very challenging for the Bangladesh government. So we need such type of some technical support by which we can minimize through genetic gain or through applying some modern technology so that we can really address the whole food system. Some integrated food system approach is needed to minimize our food and waste. Another is how we can minimize our resources. Because Bangladesh agriculture, you know, very intensive agriculture and very diversified agriculture. Our country is almost 14.6 million hectare, 8.6 million hectare occupied by agriculture. And our main, you can imagine, there are more than 300 cropping pattern. And if you look the top cropping pattern, mostly rice-based cropping pattern. So we cannot sacrifice the yield. But due to our intensive agriculture, every year we are using almost 6 million tons of fertilizer. And we are using 37,000 tons of pesticide. So how much, and our winter crop, Boro is the main crop. There are 52% of the total rice is coming from Boro, from winter rice. And we are cultivating winter rice using our groundwater. So huge groundwater is we are harvesting. In addition, our agriculture is intensive. It indicates how much nutrient are exporting from the soil. But there is no such replacement. Some of our participant, he raised a question, the soils, soil health is deteriorating. So how we can improve the soil health? How we can, because this is a tropical belt, there is a huge rainfall and huge temperature that is not really suitable for the soil health, because there is a huge mineralization is going now. The soil health is deteriorating. So that is one of the major aspects how we can improve our soil health to ensure our productivity or to ensure food security. And another issue is forecasting an early warming system, because right now in Bangladesh, almost a serious heat wave is sweeping across the country. Bangladesh is not experienced with 42 or 40 degrees centigrade temperature, but last few weeks, this temperature is prevailing in the country, and there's a huge some escalating impact of this heat wave just we are seeing right now. So this is the another area, and each crop they have their own phenology. So climate are the major factor to ensure productivity. Right now, our total wheat requirement in our country is almost 7 million tons. Right now, we are producing only 1.1 million tons. Due to terminal heat, due to heat stress, and our winter is spent so narrow, we are not able to grow the wheat also. So these are the major challenge as a deltoid country. Due to our geographic position, we are not big emitter at all in the country, in the globe. You are only contributing 0.42%, but we are the whole victim of climate change. That's why government is giving emphasis, especially for climate resilient, nutrient sensitive, and gender sensitive food system. So we need some technical support, because we believe when scientists work across border and discipline, they can achieve more rather they could have achieved by their own. So they can make a breakthrough. That's why we need some international cooperation, by which really we can address our challenges to make a prosperous delta. So that's all from my side. So thank you all of you.
Thank you, and my sincere apologies to you if I'm pushing, because honestly speaking, we are slightly trying to press. We try to keep some time for questions. And without further ado, let me invite Dr. Angela from USask, and then to be followed by Jean from World Bank IFC to please comment.
Great. So thanks very much. Really appreciate the opportunity to respond. We're involved in a training initiative with the Bangladesh Agricultural Research Council. And so much of what we just heard from Dr. Bokhtiar really resonates. And I want to emphasize just a few key themes so that really resonated with me. I think the first one is the importance of a multi-level approach. So where we've got that integration of the government, the support of the government, the support of the private sector, because we need to have that investment. If we want to recruit people into this area, we need them to see that there's a career ahead of them and an attractive career ahead of them. And so when we think about that, we can think about things like robotics or genetics. And part of that, we had a conversation at lunch today talking about the image of agriculture, and I think it's the same in Bangladesh, right? We need to shift that narrative where agriculture is not just about pitchforks or wooden shoes and woolen socks. It's a high-tech industry, and so part of what we need to do is continue communicating that so that we're able to draw in some of the real cutting-edge talent. I also want to really emphasize the importance of working as a systems level approach, and we heard that repeated in a few different comments today. That systems approach is going to be really important in order for Bangladesh to accelerate. So I think some of what has taken us a while to get where we are in Canada or in other developed nations is too long we've worked in silos. So we've worked, soil science works over here, plant science works over here, and by bringing all of these folks together and working in this more collaborative approach, starting from that space and training in that space, I think will truly allow Bangladesh to rocket forward as and towards the goals of it being a developed nation and to really achieve full agricultural potential. Because it is important to recognize that when you're focusing, like you might be looking at crop breeding, but what is the effect of that new crop variety on soil health? How is it in terms of its ability to take up water or to its water use efficiency or its nutrient use efficiency? So that's really important as well. And the last piece that I want to emphasize within this is the importance of training these students and training our future leaders in the agricultural sector to collaborate across different platforms or across different units. So when I think about the opportunities that I've had to meet with different leaders in Bangladesh, with BARC or BARI, or the Wheat and Maize Research Institute, the Livestock Research Institute, getting more cross-cutting conversations happening even amongst those, and then bringing in the universities, it's going to really help ensure that we're making maximum use of the resources. And I think one of the things that is exciting about some of the training partnerships that we're developing with Bangladesh is the opportunity for students from all of those different areas to come together, study together, and then go back to Bangladesh, and they've built that network. So that I often tell our students at the University of Saskatchewan the same thing. You come here for an education, but at the same time, you're building your professional network that you'll have for the rest of your career. And so my hope would be that part of the really accelerating Bangladesh and in its agriculture journey towards a sustainable future, that building those cohorts of students, those cohorts of folks, that when they go back to their respective institutes, that they're taking that network with them, and that will really help accelerate impact as well. So I'm excited for where this is taking us.
John, yes. John, coming from Washington, is the account holder, if I may say rightly. But someone I'm really getting increasingly scared because he speaks and understands Bangla. So I can't say anything behind. He's the lead for the partner project from the World Bank. So John, what's your take on this, particularly on this cluster?
Thank you so much. So, so we've heard, right, throughout all of these interventions that we have really moved the focus in Bangladesh from making sure that people could eat, right? Bangladesh used to be known for a place where you had famines, and that's no longer the case. And how has this been done? It's been done by very strong commitment from the government to address this challenge, by investing very heavily in the 80s into agriculture research, by liberalizing input markets. Now we are at a second inflection point where we can push the envelope further towards greater diversification, better nutrition, improved food safety, increased climate resilience, right? So we're focusing on new challenges. And the only way that this can happen is again through a very strong commitment by the government of Bangladesh to create the enabling conditions for private sector-led, market-led solutions so that we can actually move past the current situation that we're at. And this is why, with many partners, we have developed the partner program. The idea is that it finances more than $1.3 billion of investment into the sector. 800 million from the government itself, 500 million from the World Bank, and 43 million from IFAD. It was also developed with very strong technical commitment of FAO. And the idea here is that it's not your typical development project where you implement activities and then you finance it along the way. It's a results-based operation, which means that it's only when we reach certain results that financing is provided. And this means that this can only happen if the government brings in strategic partners like international research institutions, and of course, like the private sector. We've heard throughout today, right, that without private sector-led, market-led solutions, we cannot achieve what we need to achieve. So that's the only way that the government can achieve the objectives of partner. So what does it do with just 1 minute, and how can you help? Because that's my main message. We've heard all of the things that we could potentially do, but now you have to get involved into partner to help the government achieve its objectives so that we can give them more money to do so. So there's a whole set of activities that's about improving on-farm management. implementing good agricultural practices. We're using way too much pesticides in current agriculture, way too much fertilizer. It's bad for the environment. It's actually depressing yields and so on and so forth. So helping farmers become GAP certified. We need to implement higher yielding rice varieties because we have invested so much focus into rice production to feed the people that now we don't have enough space. You saw that how constrained we are to grow something else. So if we have higher yielding rice varieties, we can set aside more space for other crops, which is the third aspect about diversification towards other crops. Also, we're misusing water. This is a problem, especially for methane emissions. And so implementing efficient irrigation technologies like alternating wetting and drying is another objective of partner. And I will definitely need expertise from people here, but also private sector solution-driven options. It's good to do on-farm, but we heard also, right, that we cannot do anything if the market is not with us and if we don't do off-farm support. So another aspect is to develop digital solutions to connect farmers to markets, farmers to finance, farmers to inputs, farmers to e-extension services. Another aspect, and you can see that we need a food systems approach, right? So trying to approach it from different angles. We also need food safety testing. If you're going to export to other countries, then you need to show that you actually have produced the goods in the right way. So that's what we're trying to do also on the partner. We have a major issue of employment for women and youth. There's a support to agri-entrepreneurship for women and youth as well. And then to be as short as possible, we need to renew investments in agricultural research. As we discussed throughout the day, there's an element of what should the public sector do and what should the private sector do. It is clear, and we've seen it for Bangladesh, but for many other countries, that ag research is an element role that the public sector needs to play. And so there's an increase in budgeting for agricultural research and also establishing partnerships with other research institutions. And please, I hope that one of the outcomes of today's session and yesterday's session is that we will have a partnership between the government and universities like Wageningen so that we can actually move this agenda forward. Thank you very much.